Walmart has successfully beaten back the mass looting that was planned of their store over the SNAP funding withdrawal or pause so far. But it is only the 6th of the month, and I think most people continue to hold out some level of hope that they will be restored. And again, I believe that there are millions of Americans who legitimately need SNAP, and I want it to be restored for them, while also I believe that the system needs to be massively reformed. Now, we can do that over the next 2 years, hopefully, if midterms aren't a total disaster. But for right now, unfortunately, we're going to have to, restore it because there's just too many people that actually need it. But, as of right now, I'm 100% fine with the Democrats continuing to keep the government shut down. Fine by me. But you'll see this now. Walmart's starting to feel the burn a little bit. SNAP collapse threatens Walmart, Kroger, and other retails. Millions could see price increases as a result. Great. So now the rest of us are going to have to pay for it. The ongoing U.S. government shutdown is now 31 days old, making it the second longest in history, although the economic pain from this has been accumulating for much of October. On November 1st, obviously it's got turned up a notch. 42 million Americans were directly affected by the SNAP benefits not being funded. By the way, I support Trump saying, no, some stupid activist judge isn't going to force me to fund it. The Democrats have to come back to the table and get this government shutdown done. Now, here's the thing. Food stamps are not just a benefit for vulnerable families, but a key source of revenue for retailers across the country. Walmart alone costs 24%, accounts for 24% of SNAP, according to market research data. That means if the funding program continues to lapse, the retail giant will lose an estimated $2 billion. Although the impact on grocery prices is difficult to predict with precision, Dave Ortega, professor of food economics at Michigan, told Reuters that the retailers will raise prices to preserve their margins if SNAP funding continues to lapse. In other words, ordinary families are going to face higher grocery bills to cover the shortfall. Now, let me just tell you, as somebody, again, if you're legitimately on SNAP, and you need it temporarily, or you're in between jobs, we have no problem. We have no beef. I'm not talking about you here. But let me get this straight, okay? Americans taxpayers who are working right now are already paying for SNAP and have been, okay? And now we're going to have to make up this 24% increase to cover the loss of SNAP. That is actual insanity. This is criminal. So Walmart and Kroger are set to raise their prices, up to 24%, to cover the fact that they're not getting already a government subsidy. By the way, remember, SNAP isn't just a subsidy for American people and apparently illegal aliens. It is a massive subsidy for big food, right? Billions of dollars from my pocket, the American taxpayer's pocket, goes into the government's pocket. And then that not only subsidizes people who are currently in between jobs or also maybe currently taking advantage of the SNAP program, but it goes into big food. It's a massive subsidy for corporations like Walmart, food makers that are SNAP eligible, for example. I mean, it's absolutely bonkers that now we're talking about jacking up prices on Americans. By the way, leave a like on the video if you agree. Huge shout out. I want to let everyone know the last of our blackberry cream is at Amazon right now. Once it's gone, it's gone. 1,500 reviews, 4.7 stars. It's absolutely delicious. Also, we restocked our fall flavors for one last time. The spiked jack-o'-lantern, which is like pumpkin pies, it's not pumpkin spice, it's better. It's absolutely delicious. We've just stocked it up, so they're starting to ship later this week. And our maple cream, we sent in our final restock of that. Make sure you pick that up today. Our fall flavors are going away. And you could bring it to Thanksgiving. When you go to Thanksgiving, bring one of our fall flavors with you and help me get other people hooked on our coffee. Here's what's great. Just watch the start of this news coverage.
Really bad. Danielle Grant is starving.
Danielle Grant is starving. She's 200 pounds overweight. She is the literal opposite of starving. I get that she is panicked and emotional, but also the mainstream media is using this to stir up panic and to, turn Americans on Donald Trump. That's what the mainstream media is actually doing with this. They aren't interested in, talking about how the Democrats are the ones that are refusing. I think they voted to not, have the government come back something like 14, 15, 16 times now. So no, by the way, again, this woman is the Webster's dictionary opposite of starving.
I'm trying to see if I can get some food because we literally don't have anything to eat today.
You'll be okay.
Tomorrow. So we're going to try to make ends meet, and we can.
Desperate for food, nowhere to go. Grant and many others got to the Hope Line today just to make an appointment to come back later in the week for food. Resources are slim, leaving 40% of Bronxites without money to feed themselves. Some still in shock.
You heard things before, but it's like, they're not going to let people starve. That's ridiculous, but it's like, no, that's literally like what's happening.
We hope the food.
Yeah, woman is not starving. That woman is not starving.
Pantries maintain open, because if they don't stay.
By the way, you got a problem with it? Call up your local Democrat and ask them why they want you to starve.
Open, I really don't know what we're going to do next.
We asked people their reaction to hearing that the Trump administration will partially fund the SNAP program. People say
They're
it's
not going
to
to
do much. They have families to feed.
Well,
and
then don't send any. If anybody's starving, it's this news person.
already struggled at the end of every month when they were receiving the full amount.
Wow, not enough. At least it's something to hold on, but I think everybody's going to have to get a second job.
It doesn't really last the whole month, probably.
Get a second job. That's what most people do. It's what people do. And it's what I did. When I didn't have enough money to make ends meet, I worked selling cars, and I also worked at a pizza place. I worked at a computer repair shop, and I also worked at Best Buy and Office Max. When I worked full time, I also fixed computers on the side. Now, I guess fixing computers isn't a viable living anymore these days. People just buy a new one, but you get what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you got to hustle.
Like 2 or 3 weeks, and then by the last week you gotta scramble to find, things.
This couple has 4
This is another woman who's gigantic.
kids. The mom says
And 4 kids. Why'd you have 4 kids if you can't even afford one?
pantries aren't always reliable.
They have limited supply, or by the time we get to the front of the line, then there's really nothing there. So.
Another person who's overweight. Not much, but look at everyone behind you. Overweight. I can assume this other person's also overweight. I'm just saying, we need to look at the type of food that is SNAP eligible too. We need to get these people healthy. It's one thing to support them. It's another thing to then put them into early. If they can't afford food, then they're not going to be able to afford healthcare. So maybe let's not give them early onset diabetes and other heart problems and things like that. Make sure they eat healthy. If you want Pringles and you want Mountain Dew, go to work.
So it's hard.
She says she's holding on to faith. Meanwhile, others are worried hunger will drive crime rates up. We don't know how much money
Higher?
will be reloaded onto people's cards and when that will be. In Longwood, Lindsay.
A lot of this is, again, they could go to work. They have 4 kids. How can they work? Well, you find a way. By the way, this man says recipients are selling their food stamps. What a coincidence.
All right, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. The real reason why a lot of people are upset about this whole food stamps, SNAP benefit thing, bro, is because they're selling their food stamps, bro.
It's screwing up their hustle. I 100% believe that.
Selling them. I'm telling you, they are selling their food stamps, bro. You know how many people in New York and other states right now are going to the corner store, the deli, and they're selling their food stamps, bro? They're selling, that's why they're getting $4,000, $3,000 in food stamps, and they're selling it for cash. They'll get $4,000 in food stamps, and they'll just take $1,000 in cash. Bro, that's happening everywhere.
That's why they're really
mad. That is exactly why they're mad right now.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Now, not everybody does that, but the people who are taking advantage of the system are doing that. And, you know, it's just, again, I want to get these people out. You know, EBT recipient complains about the food they were giving because their food stamps haven't come in. I mean, you have free food and you're mad that it's not. I mean, look at this.
I didn't get my food stamps this month, and instead, this is what I'm supposed to survive off, feed my family.
Okay, well, how about nothing?
A bag of apples.
Okay. Cangelos.
A bag of oranges.
I don't know what those are. Oranges are really small.
Tomato soup.
Okay, this seems like great.
Oats.
Oats is great.
Elbow macaroni.
Cool.
Milk.
Yeah.
Peas.
Okay. What's wrong with this?
Black beans. Diced tomatoes.
Learn to cook.
Tomato sauce.
So you can make noodles and soup, and you have peaches.
Peaches.
You got a couple of meals right there.
More pinto beans.
Which you got for free, by the way. You got 20 peanut butter sandwiches right there too.
Peanut butter. Green beans.
Yeah.
Tuna.
Okay. What's this? Oh, you can make muffins.
And this.
And you can also make waffles and shortcakes. She doesn't even know what it is because she doesn't cook.
So I'm supposed to feed my family for the entire month with what you see in this box.
No, you're not. You're supposed to go get a job, lady. You know, like, I just, by the way, you know, you got a nice fancy cell phone. You got a TikTok account. You know, so everyone crying about, here's a great video too.
So everyone crying about EBT and SNAP being cut off.
Oh, this chick is smoke show.
You finally see how communism doesn't work?
Yeah.
You know, when you rely on the government to feed you,
sometimes it doesn't work.
You see how easy it is for them to just cut you off and starve you?
Yes, I do.
You see it now, right? So now you see how government-run grocery stores would actually be a detriment to society, right? So you guys would never vote for the guy running on government-funded grocery stores.
I mean, yes, based and hot pilled. But like, again, this is for the people that are legitimately in need. Great. If you know anybody else who's on SNAP and they're making these videos, maybe tell them to stop because it's making you look bad. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Show up at Thanksgiving with one of our fall flavors or our blackberry cream. And then once you get it, come back and leave a review. Definitely want to get up to 2,000 reviews. Last chance to get the spiked jacklantern, which is a beautiful, like it sells so good for us. And our maple cream, we only have a few hundred of each left. So pick yours up today at the link in the description, and we'll talk to you again real soon.